The first time I realized something was wrong, we were at the company Christmas party. My husband Mark had been working at Crawford Financial for 3 years, and his boss, Richard Crawford, was handing out bonuses with a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. "Your wife is stunning, Mark," Richard said, his gaze lingering on me just a beat too long as he handed Mark an envelope. "You're a lucky man." Mark beamed, oblivious. "Don't I know it?" I forced a laugh, shifting uncomfortably in my dress. The way Richard looked at me made my skin prickle, like he was undressing me with his eyes. But I told myself I was imagining things. After all, Richard was Mark's mentor, the reason we could afford our new house, our daughter's private school. Then the accidental touches started. A brush of his hand against my lower back when Mark wasn't looking. His fingers lingering too long when he handed me a drink. I began making excuses to skip company events, but Mark insisted. "Richard expects us there," he'd say. "It's important for my career." The night everything changed, Mark was in Chicago for a conference. I just put our 6-year-old daughter Sophie to bed when the doorbell rang at 9 p.m. Through the peephole, Richard stood on my porch holding a bottle of wine. My blood turned to ice. "Emily," he said when I cracked the door open. "Mark forgot some files. Thought I'd bring them by personally." He held up a manila folder in one hand, the wine in the other. "And I knew you'd be lonely tonight." Every hair on my arms stood up. Mark's files could have waited until Monday. Richard's smile didn't waver. "Aren't you going to invite me in?" When I didn't move, he stepped forward, forcing me to retreat or let him bump into me. The moment he crossed the threshold, I knew I'd made a mistake. The next 10 minutes played out in slow motion, Richard pouring wine I didn't drink, his hand on my knee, his breath smelling of scotch as he whispered, "You've been driving me crazy for years." When I tried to stand, his grip on my wrist turned painful. "Richard, stop. You don't mean that," he murmured, his other hand sliding up my thigh. "I know you want this too." What happened next is still a blur. Me kneeing him where it hurt, screaming loud enough to wake Sophie, threatening to call 911. The look of shock on his face as he realized I wasn't playing hard to get. When Mark came home, he refused to believe me at first. "Richard, no way. He's like a father to me." It took showing him the bruises on my wrist for the color to drain from his face. The aftermath was messy. Richard claimed I'd come on to him. HR conducted an investigation, where 3 other female employees came forward with similar stories. Richard resigned gracefully, with a 7-figure severance package. We moved across the country. Mark changed careers. Some nights I still wake up shaking, remembering that predatory smile in my doorway. But here's what I learned. Monsters don't always lurk in dark alleys. Sometimes they wear $3,000 suits and sign your husband's paychecks. And the scariest part, they count on your silence.